Ladies and gentlemen, imagine waking up one day feeling like there's no way out. A heavy weight on your chest, thoughts of defeat looping endlessly in your mind. We've all been there, haven't we? Maybe some of you are there right now, but let me tell you something important. What if that darkness you're feeling isn't the end? What if it's the beginning of something extraordinary? Today I want to share with you why hopelessness, though it feels like an unbreakable chain, can actually be the start of your greatest transformation. Stick with me, because by the end of this speech, you'll see the hidden power in your pain and discover how to rise above any challenge. The way we see our circumstances is more powerful than the circumstances themselves. It may sound simple, but perspective is everything when it comes to overcoming hopelessness. Imagine two people facing the same storm. One sees it as an end, a force that will wash away all they built. The other sees it as an opportunity, a chance to rebuild, to grow stronger, and to prepare for even bigger challenges ahead. What's the difference? It's not the storm, it's their mindset. Our minds are like lenses filtering the reality we experience. When that lens focuses only on failure, loss, or pain, the world can seem unbearably dark. But when we shift that focus, when we allow ourselves to see possibility instead of impossibility, growth instead of defeat, something incredible happens. The circumstances don't change overnight, but our capacity to handle them transforms completely. That's the power of perspective. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a child learning to walk. They take their first few steps, wobble, and fall. Now, what if the child believed that falling was proof they'd never walk? They'd give up, wouldn't they? But that's not how children think. They fall, cry a little, and then they get up and try again. To them, each fall is not a failure, it's just part of the process. It's that same unshakable belief in the possibility of success that adults often lose when life gets tough. But what if we could regain it? Perspective allows us to reframe failure. It turns I can't do this into I can't do this yet. It shifts the focus from what went wrong to what can be learned. Every setback, every disappointment, every heartbreak becomes a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block. This isn't about pretending life is easy or ignoring the reality of pain. It's about choosing to see beyond the immediate struggle and recognizing the potential for growth within it. But shifting perspective isn't automatic. It takes effort and sometimes guidance. Think about a time when you faced what felt like an insurmountable obstacle. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, or a deep sense of inadequacy. In that moment, the problem likely felt massive, consuming all your energy and thoughts. Now, imagine someone coming alongside you not to minimize your pain, but to help you see it differently. What if they said, yes, this is hard, but look at what you've already survived. Look at how strong you've become. Look at what's still possible for you. How would that change the way you face the challenge? Perspective isn't just about optimism, it's about resilience. It's about training your mind to focus on solutions rather than problems, on opportunities rather than barriers. It's a skill that grows with practice. For instance, when life throws a curveball, take a moment to pause. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Try asking, what can I learn from this? Or how can this situation make me stronger? Those small mental shifts can create ripples of change in how you approach life's difficulties. One of the greatest examples of the power of perspective comes from those who faced unimaginable adversity, yet emerged with a sense of purpose and hope. Think of people who've lost everything in natural disasters, yet found ways to rebuild their lives. Think of individuals who face physical limitations, but turned their challenges into platforms for inspiration. Their circumstances were no different from others who might have crumbled under the weight. The difference was their decision to see their situation through a lens of possibility. Perspective also teaches us gratitude. When we're focused solely on what's wrong, we often overlook what's right. Even in the darkest moments, there's always something to be thankful for: a kind word from a friend, a moment of peace in chaos, the resilience to take another breath and keep going. Gratitude isn't about denying hardship, it's about broadening our view to include the light amidst the shadows. The truth is, we can't always control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. And that response begins with perspective. When you shift your focus from what you've lost to what you can gain, from what's holding you back to what's pushing you forward, you begin to reclaim your power. You begin to see that hopelessness isn't the end, it's a call to look deeper, to dig into the strength you didn't know you had, and to start building a new story. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by the weight of your circumstances, remember this: the way you choose to see the world can change everything. Even in the face of the greatest challenges, perspective has the power to transform hopelessness into hope, despair into determination, and setbacks into stepping stones. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it, because when you change your perspective, you change your life. Hope is not a feeling that magically appears when life is perfect. It is a decision, a deliberate intentional choice we make even in the face of overwhelming adversity. Hope doesn't wait for circumstances to improve. It thrives in the middle of uncertainty and despair. It's a quiet but unyielding resolve to keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear. Choosing hope is not about ignoring reality or pretending that everything is fine when it isn't. Instead, it's about acknowledging the difficulties, accepting the pain, and still deciding to believe in the possibility of a better future. Hope is what gives us the strength to face challenges head on, even when the odds seem stacked against us. It's the light that guides us out of darkness one step at a time. When life feels like it's falling apart, it's easy to think, what's the point? Hopelessness whispers that our efforts won't matter, that nothing will ever change. But hope counters that voice with a simple but profound truth: change is always possible. It might not happen as quickly as we want or in the way we expect, but the potential for growth, healing, and transformation is always there. Choosing hope means trusting that better days are ahead, even if we can't see them yet. Consider this: when we plant a seed, we don't see immediate results. Days, weeks, or even months may pass before anything breaks through the soil. During that time, it would be easy to assume the seed has failed, that nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the seed is germinating, developing roots, and preparing to grow. Hope works the same way. It's about believing in the unseen and the potential that lies just beneath the surface of our current struggles. The beauty of hope is that it doesn't require us to see the entire path ahead. All it asks is that we take the next step. Just one. And then another. This is where so many people get stuck. They want guarantees, clear outcomes, or assurances before they act. But hope isn't about certainty, it's about courage. It's the courage to keep going when the outcome is unclear, to trust that each small step will lead us closer to where we need to be. Hope isn't passive, it's active. It's not about sitting back and waiting for life to improve on its own. It's about taking action, no matter how small, to create the change we want to see. Sometimes that action is as simple as getting out of bed in the morning, making a phone call, or reaching out for help. Other times it's about setting big, audacious goals and working tirelessly to achieve them. Either way, hope is the force that propels us forward. But let's be honest, choosing hope isn't always easy. There will be days when it feels like giving up would be simpler. Days when the weight of our struggles seems unbearable. On those days, it's important to remember that hope isn't something we have to muster on our own. It can be found in the support of others, in a kind word, a gesture of compassion, or a moment of connection. Hope often enters our lives through unexpected doors, reminding us that we're not alone. Hope is also a muscle that strengthens with use. The more we choose it, the more resilient we become. Each time we face a challenge and decide to keep going, we're training ourselves to see possibilities where others might see dead ends. Over time, hope becomes a habit, a way of approaching life that allows us to navigate even the toughest circumstances with grace and determination. Think of the stories we admire most, the ones where people overcome incredible odds to achieve something extraordinary. Whether it's surviving a life-threatening illness, climbing out of financial ruin, or rebuilding after a devastating loss, these stories all have one thing in common: the individuals involved choose hope. They refuse to let their circumstances define them, and they believed in their ability to create a new reality. That same power is available to all of us. Hope isn't reserved for the extraordinary. It's something we can all access no matter where we are or what we're facing. It starts with a decision to believe that our lives have value, that our struggles have meaning, and that our futures hold promise. In the end, hope is what connects us to possibility. It reminds us that we are not defined by our failures or limitations, but by our potential to rise above them. Choosing hope doesn't mean the road will be easy, but it does mean we'll have the strength to walk it. And that strength, that decision to keep going, can change everything. Pain, as much as we wish it weren't so, is an inescapable part of life. It touches everyone in some form: loss, rejection, failure, or physical suffering. In those moments when pain feels overwhelming, it's natural to ask, why me, or what's the point? But pain, as difficult as it is to endure, has a purpose. It can shape us, strengthen us, and even guide us towards something greater than we ever imagined. It is through pain that we often discover our deepest sense of purpose. Life has a way of using our struggles to reveal strengths we didn't know we had. Think about the moments that have truly defined you, not the easy, joyful times, but the moments when you were tested, when everything seemed to be against you. Those moments, though painful, forced you to dig deep, to find courage and resilience within yourself. They changed you. And while you might not wish to relive those experiences, it's likely that they taught you something profound about who you are and what you're capable of. Pain is like fire. It can destroy, but it can also refine. In the refining process, gold is subjected to intense heat, which burns away impurities and leaves behind something purer, stronger, and more valuable. In the same way, our struggles have the potential to strip away what is unnecessary and reveal the core of who we are. They challenge us to grow, to adapt, and to become more resilient. And in that process, we often discover a clarity of purpose we didn't have before. This transformation doesn't happen automatically. Pain can also harden us, make us bitter, or leave us feeling stuck if we don't approach it with intention. The key is to ask not just why is this happening, but what can I do with this? How can this pain serve a greater purpose? When we shift our focus from the pain itself to the possibility of growth, we begin to take back control. Our pain can also connect us to others in ways we never expected. It has a way of breaking down barriers, creating empathy, and building bridges. When we share our struggles openly, we give others permission to do the same. We show them that they're not alone, that it's okay to hurt, and that healing is possible. This connection is powerful. It transforms pain into something that unites rather than isolates. Some of the most inspiring people are those who've turned their pain into a mission. Their challenges became their motivation to create change, help others, or pursue their dreams with renewed determination. Think of someone who has faced profound loss but used that experience to comfort others going through the same thing. Or someone who has overcome a significant obstacle and now dedicates their life to empowering others to do the same. Their stories remind us that pain doesn't have to be the end of the road. It can be the beginning of a new and meaningful journey. But turning pain into purpose doesn't mean we deny or suppress our feelings. It's important to honor the reality of what we're going through. It's okay to grieve, to feel anger or sadness, to acknowledge the weight of our struggles. Purpose doesn't come from ignoring pain. It comes from moving through it, from facing it head on and choosing to let it teach us rather than defeat us. In every hardship, there's an opportunity to learn. Pain teaches us about our limits, but it also shows us how to push past them. It reveals what truly matters to us, what we value, who we love, and what we're willing to fight for. It sharpens our priorities and gives us a sense of clarity that's hard to find in easier times. And most importantly, it can ignite a fire within us to create change, whether in our own lives or in the world around us. One of the most empowering realizations is that our pain doesn't have to define us. We are not our failures, our losses, or our wounds. We are so much more than that. When we choose to turn our pain into purpose, we take control of our narrative. We decide that our story doesn't end in defeat, it ends in triumph. And that decision, that choice to rise above, is one of the most powerful things we can do. Ultimately, pain reminds us that we are alive. It challenges us to find meaning, to connect, to grow, and to transform. It's not easy and it's not immediate, but it's worth it. Because when we turn pain into purpose, we not only heal ourselves, we inspire others to do the same. And that ripple effect, that transformation of struggle into strength, is what makes life truly extraordinary. Gratitude is a quiet force with extraordinary power. It has the ability to shift our focus, to calm our storms, and to remind us of what truly matters. In moments of despair, when hopelessness seems to overshadow everything, gratitude offers a way back to the light. It doesn't erase the challenges we face, but it changes how we see them. It reframes our struggles and reminds us that even in the midst of pain, there are blessings worth holding on to. Life has a way of pulling our attention toward what's missing. We dwell on what we lack, on what's been taken from us, or on the things that didn't go as planned. This focus on scarcity fuels feelings of hopelessness, but gratitude operates differently. It shifts our gaze from what we don't have to what we do. It teaches us to appreciate the good, no matter how small or fleeting it may seem. And in that shift, we discover a source of strength and resilience that can carry us through the darkest times. Gratitude isn't about ignoring the hardships in life or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about finding balance. It's about acknowledging the pain while also recognizing the beauty. For example, consider someone who has experienced a significant loss. They may feel deep sorrow, but gratitude can help them cherish the memories they shared, the lessons they learned, or the love they experienced. It doesn't take away the pain, but it adds a layer of meaning that makes the burden a little lighter. One of the remarkable things about gratitude is its simplicity. It doesn't require grand gestures or extraordinary circumstances. Often, the things we are most grateful for are the simplest: a warm meal, the sound of laughter, the kindness of a stranger, or the comfort of a safe place to rest. These small moments, when acknowledged, become anchors in a sea of uncertainty. They remind us that even when life feels overwhelming, there is still good to be found. Gratitude also has a way of slowing us down. In a world that constantly demands more and more success, more possessions, more accomplishments, gratitude encourages us to pause and appreciate what we already have. It reminds us that we don't need to chase after the next thing to find happiness. Instead, we can find joy in the present moment, in the people we love, and in the simple pleasures of life. Science supports what many have known intuitively. Gratitude has a profound impact on our mental and emotional well-being. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can reduce stress, improve sleep, and increase overall happiness. It helps us focus on positive experiences, which in turn creates a sense of hope and optimism. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it's a powerful tool for transforming our mindset and improving our quality of life. But gratitude, like any skill, requires practice. It's not always easy to feel thankful, especially when life is challenging. On those days, gratitude becomes a choice. It might mean writing down one thing you're grateful for, even if it feels insignificant. It might mean taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of a sunset or the sound of birds outside your window. These small acts of acknowledgement build the habit of gratitude, and over time, they create a reservoir of strength you can draw from when times are tough. Gratitude is also contagious. When we express our thankfulness, it inspires others to do the same. Think about how you feel when someone takes the time to thank you sincerely. It warms your heart, doesn't it? It creates a connection, a moment of shared humanity. When we practice gratitude, we not only uplift ourselves, but also those around us. It becomes a ripple effect, spreading positivity and hope wherever it goes. Gratitude doesn't erase pain, but it gives us a new perspective. It helps us see that even in our struggles, there is something to hold on to, something that makes life worth living. It's a reminder that our circumstances, no matter how difficult, don't define us. What defines us is how we choose to respond, and gratitude is one of the most powerful responses we can choose. In the end, gratitude is a way of saying yes to life. It's a declaration that despite everything, there is still beauty, still goodness, and still hope. It's a quiet but profound act of resilience, a refusal to let hardship steal our joy. And in that simple act of acknowledgement, we find the strength to keep going, to keep believing, and to keep loving. Gratitude transforms not only how we see the world, but also how we experience it. And in doing so, it gives us the courage to face whatever comes next. The people we surround ourselves with play a pivotal role in shaping our lives. They influence our thoughts, emotions, and even the trajectory of our journey. When faced with hopelessness, it's the presence of a supportive community that can make all the difference. The truth is, no one was meant to go through life alone. We are wired for connection, and in our darkest moments, the strength of those connections becomes a lifeline. I think about a time when you were struggling. Maybe you felt overwhelmed by life's challenges or weighed down by a sense of failure or loss. Now recall the people who stood by you during that time. Perhaps it was a friend who listened without judgment, a family member who offered encouragement, or even a stranger who extended kindness when you least expected it. Their support, no matter how small, had the power to lift you, to remind you that you are not alone. Supportive relationships don't erase our struggles, but they do make them more bearable. They provide a sense of stability when everything feels uncertain. A kind word, a listening ear, or simply someone's presence can create a ripple effect of hope. It's not just about having people around, it's about having the right people, those who believe in you, who remind you of your worth, and who encourage you to keep going. The power of community lies in its ability to share both burdens and joys. When we allow ourselves to lean on others, we realize that we don't have to carry everything on our own. Sharing our struggles doesn't make us weak, it makes us human. And in that vulnerability, we find connection. When someone says, "I've been there too," or "I'm here for you," it breaks the isolation that hopelessness thrives on. It reminds us that we are part of something larger than ourselves, a network of shared experiences and mutual support. But building and maintaining a supportive community isn't always easy. It requires intention and effort. It means choosing relationships that uplift rather than drain us. It means seeking out people who align with our values and who inspire us to be our best selves. Sometimes it means letting go of toxic connections that perpetuate negativity or self-doubt. Surrounding ourselves with the right people isn't just about comfort, it's about growth and resilience. A strong support system also holds us accountable. The people who truly care about us won't let us sink into despair without offering a hand to pull us out. They challenge us when we need it, encouraging us to see beyond our current circumstances and take steps toward healing and progress. They remind us of our potential when we've forgotten it ourselves. In many ways, they act as mirrors, reflecting back our strength and worth even when we can't see it. Supportive communities also provide a sense of belonging. In times of hopelessness, it's easy to feel like an outsider, as though our struggles set us apart from everyone else. But when we're part of a group that accepts us unconditionally, we realize that our challenges don't make us less worthy of love or connection. They simply make us human. Belonging to a community reminds us that we are valued, not in spite of our struggles, but often because of them. Another remarkable thing about supportive relationships is their ability to inspire hope. When we see others who have faced similar challenges and come out stronger, it gives us a sense of possibility. Their stories become proof that healing is achievable, that resilience is real, and that brighter days are ahead. In turn, our own journey can serve as an inspiration to others, creating a cycle of hope and encouragement that strengthens the entire community. But support isn't a one-way street. As much as we need others, others need us too. Offering support is just as important as receiving it. When we show up for someone else, we remind ourselves of our own strength and capacity to make a difference. Helping others in their time of need can even help us heal, as it shifts our focus outward and reinforces the idea that we are all connected. The beauty of a supportive community is that it doesn't require perfection. It's made up of people who are imperfect but willing to listen, to encourage, to stand by us even when the road is rough. And in that willingness, they create a foundation of trust and love that can withstand life's storms. Ultimately, supportive relationships are a reminder that we are never truly alone. No matter how heavy our burdens, there are people who care, who want to help, and who will walk alongside us if we let them. In their presence, hopelessness loses its grip and we gain the strength to keep moving forward. It is through these connections that we find not only comfort, but also the courage to rise, to heal, and to embrace the possibility of a brighter future. Hope, like any other skill, requires nurturing and practice. It's not something that comes naturally to everyone, especially when life has been full of challenges. But the beauty of hope is that it can be cultivated even in the most difficult circumstances. It is not dependent on perfect conditions. It thrives through intentional effort, through small, steady steps that build resilience and optimism. Nurturing hope is an act of defiance against despair, a choice to believe in the possibility of a brighter future. Building hope starts with the way we think. Our thoughts shape our reality, and if we constantly dwell on what's wrong, what's lacking, or what's painful, we inevitably feel weighed down. But when we make a conscious effort to focus on what is possible and the opportunities and blessings within our reach, hope begins to take root. This shift doesn't mean denying our struggles, rather it means reframing them. Instead of seeing obstacles as permanent barriers, we begin to view them as temporary challenges with the potential to teach us and help us grow. Nurturing hope also involves setting small, achievable goals. Sometimes the enormity of life's problems can feel paralyzing, making it hard to imagine any way forward. But breaking down those problems into manageable steps can make them feel less overwhelming. Each small victory, no matter how minor, becomes a building block for hope. Completing a task, overcoming a fear, or even just taking one step toward a long-term goal reminds us that progress is possible. These small wins reinforce the idea that our actions matter and that we have the power to shape our future. Another essential aspect of cultivating hope is surrounding ourselves with inspiration. This can come from many sources: uplifting books, motivational speeches, or the stories of people who have overcome incredible odds. Hearing about others who have triumphed in the face of adversity reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles. Their journeys show us what's possible, fueling our belief that we too can overcome. Sometimes it's as simple as finding a quote or a mantra that resonates with us and repeating it when doubt creeps in. Words have power, and they can serve as a reminder of the hope we're trying to cultivate. Hope also flourishes when we practice gratitude. While this might seem counterintuitive, how can we feel hopeful while focusing on what we already have? Gratitude shifts our perspective. It reminds us that even in difficult times, there are aspects of life worth cherishing. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it balances them with a sense of appreciation for the good. By focusing on what we're thankful for, we reinforce the belief that life holds value and meaning even amidst hardship. This belief is the foundation of hope. It's important to recognize that nurturing hope is not a solitary endeavor. Connection plays a crucial role. Sharing our struggles with trusted friends or loved ones can be a powerful way to reignite hope. When others offer encouragement, perspective, or simply their presence, it reminds us that we are not alone. Being part of a supportive community strengthens our sense of possibility and provides a safety net when our hope falters. Similarly, offering support to others can be equally powerful. Acts of kindness, no matter how small, remind us of our capacity to make a positive impact and reaffirm our sense of purpose. Maintaining hope also requires self-compassion. Life is not a straight path, and setbacks are inevitable. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel discouraged or to blame ourselves. But nurturing hope means giving ourselves grace. It means recognizing that progress is rarely linear and that every effort we make, no matter how small, is a step forward. Self-compassion allows us to keep going, to try again, and to believe that even if today is difficult, tomorrow holds promise. One of the most profound ways to nurture hope is to dream, allowing ourselves to imagine a better future, to visualize what we want to achieve or experience, creates a sense of direction. Dreams give us something to strive for, a reason to keep moving forward. They don't have to be grand or far-reaching. Even small aspirations can provide a sense of purpose. The act of dreaming itself is an expression of hope, a declaration that life holds possibilities worth pursuing. Ultimately, nurturing hope is about creating a mindset that seeks possibility, embraces growth, and trusts in the resilience of the human spirit. It's a practice that requires patience and persistence, especially during life's toughest moments. But with each small effort, hope grows stronger. It becomes a guiding light, illuminating the path forward even when the way is unclear. Hope is not something we find, it's something we create. It's a choice we make every day in the way we think, act, and connect with the world around us. And in choosing hope, we not only transform our own lives, but also inspire those around us to believe in the beauty of possibility.